have a large number of genomic tested bulls that have recently added their first phenotypic daughter information for production type and health traits. Are the correlations between genomic evaluations and daughter information on these bulls as good as you had hoped it would be? As you analyze these results, are there lessons you have learned that would be helpful to breeders? I'll ask Julie to comment on that first.
Well, CDM's done a lot of validation for us in Canada. They looked at 909, well, almost 1,000 bulls, compared their parent average and their genomic parent average in 2005, and compared it to their actual proof, official proof in 2009. That was quite interesting. Those bulls, you take the top 100 for a genomic parent average, and once they got a proof, 89% of those were in the top 100. So we really, and if you use the top 100 on parent average, only 57 were in the top 100. So quite a bit improvement. On the other end, if you look at the bottom 20% of the bulls for genomic parent average, none of them made the top 100 once they got proven. So I think it's a really good predictor of bulls that don't have a chance, and a better predictor than parent average, obviously, to predict your top bulls. But as a matter of individual and actual correlation, there hasn't been any numbers that way. But the overall population, it's been quite interesting. Another fact, if we only sampled 20% of these bulls, of these 1,000 bulls, we still would have captured 70 on the top 100, and which with parent average would only be 39. So quite an improvement. Well, it's a much better predictor than
Interesting. Jeff?
We've done the very same thing with in-house data with bulls of our own, again, to validate everything that Kurt tells us, and to this point we haven't caught it in a white lie yet. But in doing so, all of our graduates in the last 3 different sire rounds have come out of the top 2 deciles, which fits the exact same thing that Julian was talking about earlier. So we continue to, again, lean heavily on what these genomic results give to us. At the same time, if you look at the graduates as a group and analyze their group parent average to their genomic actual PTAs, again, you're going to find some very close similarities from trait to trait. But the variance within the individuals for those traits can be quite large, and we've seen 100 TPI swings both directions on individuals. So I think that's where we get a little too caught up, I think, at times as breeders, and us in AI as well, is that we're proud as a peacock to have a 2,200 or 2,300 TPI young sire, and then we're disappointed if he comes in at 2,200 in his actual PTA, which shouldn't be. Because if indeed there was a little bit of bias in his genomic evaluation to begin with, but he still is relatively ranked in the top decile of the breed, that's what's important. So I think we need to get back to the old school of relative rank is more important than the actual figure itself. And I think we've lost sight from that from time to time. The other thing we did do is just recently, one of my colleagues did a full brother ET SIB analysis where we looked at, did we pick the right calf of a flush based on their information we collected from the genomic information. And we had 49 different ET SIB combinations we could look at. And if you, by looking at odds, and let's take our odds in Vegas today, we were right about 3 out of 4 times. And so I guess that made us feel much more comfortable, because in the past, anytime we've done this study, we were right about 1 out of 4 times prior to genomics. So that gets back to a question I'm sure we'll get to a little later, is that what does that mean as far as how many bulls do we actually need to be sampling as an AI industry to create the uniqueness, to create diversity, and at the same time have a cost-effective structure so we can keep our costs in line, which of course keeps the cost in line of you folks that buy the product.